How can we share God's love with the Spanish-speaking world without speaking the language of their heart? In 1955, William Thompson and Leonard Haynes, two American missionaries, recognized the urgent need to train English-speaking missionaries in the Spanish language. In the mid-1950s, the English Bible program at the Rio Grande Bible Institute was facing a serious crisis. Low student attendance made it seem as though the doors were about to close. However, God was already writing a new story.
So at that time, this would have been in 1955, the spring, and as I looked around, I realized that it was an ideal place for a language school. And I went to our dean, Len Haynes. But the very fact that we were down here close to the Mexican border made an ideal situation for the founding of a language school. Here in the Rio Grande Valley at that time, and also the present time, there are at least 80 to 85% Hispanics.
Well, sounded good to us, but we sure didn't know what Brother Eder was going to think about it. But we took the idea to him. He thought it was great. He was 100% in accord. And then he took it to the board, likewise the board. We pulled the faculty and the staff on the idea, 100% in favor, even though it meant that some of the staff members would not have a ministry because they didn't know Spanish.
William Thompson and Leonard Haynes knew well what it meant to learn the Spanish language. They had served for more than 20 years in Colombia and had received linguistic training with Wycliffe Bible translators. The first classes came together quickly. Bill Thompson taught phonetics, as his extensive missionary experience and background in linguistics had shown him the importance of communicating clearly when sharing the gospel. Meanwhile, Len Haynes, who had a passion for technology, took on the task of developing the language laboratory. And so, in September 1955, the Language School for Missionaries was born. Little by little, a new generation of servants began preparing to cross borders with the message of Christ. In 1989, Gordon Johnson, a faithful servant who had led the language school for more than 20 years, passed the baton to Manuel Gutierrez, a young man with a deep desire to serve.
I had to step into the shoes of Gordon Johnson. Dr. Johnson was a legend. He was known for his strictness. He was known for not taking any guff from anyone. He was on a mission. It got accomplished one way or another.
Manny, as he is commonly known, was the fruit of God's faithfulness to the ministry of Thompson and Haynes, for he had received the gospel and was discipled by Rocky, a missionary who graduated from the very first class of the language school.
Rocky did not want to lose his Spanish, so he came to our family asking us if he could practice Spanish with us. And this was very unusual that a prominent person in our small community would come to a very not prominent family. And it was through the death of a stillborn little baby brother of mine that the whole church came, and of course Rocky took charge, and he won our family over. And it was through the church and through Rocky's interest in us that we came to know Christ.
What began as simple language practice between Rocky and Manny's family ended up changing his eternity. Sometime later, God called Manny into ministry and brought him back to the very place where Rocky had been trained.
I became director of the language school, and I realized then that all of a sudden, one of the language school students was the one responsible for me coming to know Christ. And now here I'm in the same school helping prepare missionaries. And my thought was, okay, how many other families, how is this being repeated over and over again in different ways?
Since 1955, the Language School of Rio Grande, or the Intercultural Studies Program as it is known today, has faithfully worked to train dedicated missionaries prepared to share the message of salvation with clarity and passion. From South Texas to Mexico, Central America, South America, Europe, and every corner of the world where Spanish is the language of the heart. But the call did not stop there. The ways of migration have opened new doors, and now missionaries who graduate from the language school are also working to fulfill the Great Commission within the United States. Today, more than 3,500 students have been trained at this school, men and women who have taken the gospel to the most distant places and continue discipling new generations of servants who lead others to Christ.
I can't express the joy. You give your life to the Lord and expect the Lord to use you in the way He wants to. And I say that I had my ideas and my theories and probably my own plan, but then when God started doing it His way, it just saw how God wanted to use me, but it was His ministry. It wasn't my ministry, it was His ministry. And so when people started coming to the Lord, that was exciting. A few years ago, one of the kids that I played marbles with in front of my house, he called me, he said, all those kids you played marbles with in front of your house are now pastors and missionaries. And that was really exciting.
That's wonderful. It's exciting to be able to see. We have one girl that was one of my disciples in Colombia, and she's in Turkey now. And you find them all over the world. Right now we have a girl here from Colombia, from our church in Colombia, that is preparing to go to Africa.
So I started at Rio Grande in 1982, graduated in 1983, and I was preparing to go to Peru and to work in the jungle there. And my work there was to work with other young people who love the Lord and wanted to start churches. And they even had me my first year there teaching at the Bible Institute. So I jumped right in with the tools that I got here at Rio Grande.
Providing students with solid tools is one of the main goals of the ICS program. An essential part of these tools is proper phonetic training. Mark Lands, current director of the ICS program, explains how phonetics is one of the key pillars on which the program is built.
One of the strengths that's always been the focus, as well as the phonetic emphasis. So we really try to get good phonetics so the pronunciation sounds as natural as possible, and understanding is really a piece of it. So a lot of emphasis is put on phonetics, a good emphasis on conversation, being able to speak and build what's needed to be able to think in Spanish. We don't just want academic and educated Spanish necessarily, but we want people to be able to survive as soon as they hit the field.
Day-to-day interaction, very important. Just getting around, buying stuff at the store, living in a city, working with your landlord to get a place, all of the necessary things. I have the tools to do that. But mostly it's about being able to talk to people and converse, and there were a lot of people in Peru that helped me improve my Spanish to build on the foundation that I got here. But I can't imagine just going to a field without studying in a language program. You'd be lost.
For Mark Hensler, a graduate of the program, ICS is not only part of his story, but also a part of his family's, as he now watches his son-in-law train in the very same classrooms where he once studied.
So we were really excited to find out our son-in-law and daughter were going to be studying here at Rio Grande. I just had a great experience, and I say that because it's the perfect combination, being tied in with the Bible Institute, so you're meeting a lot of Latin young people who love Jesus, who want to serve the Lord, and you're learning language at the same time. So I knew that he was going to really enjoy being with the Bible school students and interacting with them, playing music with them, singing with them, joking around with them, eating with them. He loves all those things, so it's the best way to learn a language.
The language school still preserves its essence. It continues to be a place where students immerse themselves in learning Spanish, while forming friendships with people from different cultures and learning to love the nations in their native language.
Things that are really the most impacting, I think, are, one, you're still in the U.S., but you're in an immersed Latin-speaking context with the Bible college students right here, representing 15 to 18 different countries. You get a real broad variety of Spanish. The Bible students are the tutors that you get to use each day. And so the variety of accents you get, all while still being here in the U.S. And just the environment where missions is a big heartbeat of what this seminary is about. And so when the students are helping missionaries get prepared for the field, I think a lot of them probably have come from, their faith probably came from missionaries that got there. So there's this really great synergy and circular way of more missionaries being sent out, probably helped out by some of these students that were brought to faith through missionaries. And now you add the third semester that's been a recent addition to the program, where the first 2 semesters are really focused on conversational abilities. This third semester of taking 12 hours of Bible in the Bible college gives you a lot more academic opportunities. So if you're studying to be a pastor, church planner, work in seminaries, this gives a really good opportunity to get a lot of the biblical language and more of the academic reading and writing to strengthen that side of it as well.
Over time, the missionary movement has evolved, and the missionary vision toward Latin America has as well. Today, the region finds itself at a key moment, needing to be encouraged, supported, and guided to fulfill its part in the Great Commission.
Having lived in Latin America, in Ecuador, for almost 10 years and seeing the growth of the church that was pretty young at that point, seeing where they need to get and what they need to do to be the disciple makers that Christ has called all of us to be part of that continuing work, and seeing people still have a calling and a passion to go into South and Central America to build up churches. And it's planting new churches. There's still a lot of people groups and languages that still don't have the gospel in Latin America, so there's still a need for that as well. But seeing the Latin American church start taking those steps to move out into Asia, Africa, other unreached places that maybe you and I can't get to because of the color of our skin or political viewpoints that people would have about Americans. Latin American church has a lot of potential, and so they just still need that help, need that assistance. And so having people be passionate, still being called to go to Latin and South America and see that Latin American church grow. I love being part of that. I love seeing the call and the commitment that these people have to come here and sacrifice a year and a half of life and family and do something really hard. And without God's work in it, it wouldn't be where it is today. But just seeing that in action is really, really neat.
What began as a response to a crisis became an instrument used by God to fulfill the Great Commission. Thanks to men and women passionate about Christ, who invested their lives, more people have come to know their Savior. To God be the glory for every life transformed by the gospel.